Well, this is what we're making today. So I have a little girl reading in front of a window, and this is another page in my altered book. So stay tuned and I'll take you through this one step by step. Okay, so I want to use this page, and this page is going to be my window, and it's going to be attached to this page. So I don't need to decorate these two pages, but I do need to decorate or put a background on these ones. Now I've used that awesome way of getting rid of all of those scraps the other day when I made, which one did I make? I made this one, and I don't know if I did it, no I didn't, on this one. I just, all the leftover bits from Junk Journal July and other things I just used as my underpieces. So I'm going to do that again today. Get rid of a few more. Okay, so I've still got a pile of them here. So I'm going to just plaster them on. No rhyme or reason, just wherever they end up is where they're going to be, because they are going to be covered. They're only going on there to provide a bit of strength to the paper, make it nice and chunky. So I shall continue to cover these couple of pages and come back and talk to you when I've got that done. So warning, so there's going to be music in the video. If you don't want to watch it, listen to the music, turn the volume off until you can see it's back to normal speed, or I'll skip ahead to when I have finished putting everything on. To cover this in gesso. This is what I attempted to do the other day, but didn't quite pull it off. Literally. Pretty sure I didn't put enough on here. So I wanted to create really nice texture on the page, and I used a piece of aluminium foil to push into the gesso, but I don't think I did it well. Maybe the foil was too soft and didn't have enough texture in it, or maybe I hadn't put on enough gesso. So that's a couple of things that might have affected that. Anyway, I'm going to have another go with a piece of plastic. Okay, I've got this plastic. It's a plastic bag that I've cut a piece off, plastic packaging. So I'm going to squish that into the gesso. And I'm hoping this is going to make texture. Yeah, that's better. Okay, go over here to dry. So, I would normally dry this. Yesterday I had a little play with some brusho, which didn't really work out too great. But I wouldn't mind just trying a couple of different colours in that gesso to see what happens. Okay, so I've got turquoise, green and ultramarine. I don't know whether I need all of them, but I'm just going to... I don't know whether you're supposed to do this or not, but this is what I'm doing. Putting a hole in the top. Oh yeah, okay, these are coming out. And that was the turquoise. This is ultramarine. So I picked these colours because they're in the same family, sort of. And green. So I could put yellow in there too without upsetting the apple cart too much, but I think I'll just stick to the 3. That says leaf green. That looks like it's orange. This is leaf green. I'm a monkey's uncle. See what happens when I wet it. This, maybe it is a green. Oh no, that looks really weird. Definitely doesn't look green, does it? It's green because the blue's mixing with it. I like the ultramarine actually. Okay, I'm going to let that travel around the page a little bit. I don't want to get too much into that spine though. I'm going to lift the book up and let that run down and catch the drips in this towel. I just stick with the envelope. I don't mind the way that's looking. This is now greeny colour, but I don't like it. I like the ultramarine. Just going to add a little bit more in there. And then I'm going to leave it to dry. So it's really warm outside, and I don't think there's any wind. I can't see any of those trees blowing around outside the window here. So I'm going to go and put this out in the sun to dry. I'm going to paint this with gesso because yeah, no, this is going to have, hang on, what am I doing? Oh no, that's right. This is where what you'll be able to see through my window, so I don't want these words here. I have seen some that are a little bit raunchy on some of the pages. Okay, so I want that, and then I'm going to put a little bit of some colour on there. Yeah. This is what I was going to put in my window. I don't know if you can see that. I'm hoping you can. So it's a beautiful digital from Mateo Mixed Media and Art. So that's Mateo. I'll put a link to his channel in my video description box. He has some wonderful techniques. It was either that or this one. Oops, I can't make up my mind. But I need a little bit of colour there. whichever one I decide to use. And I was using these distress paints the other day. So either one of these, any of them actually, these ones, these three would go with this. So I've got speckled egg, squeezed lemonade and peeled paint. So this will be visible behind the image, behind my window pane. So I think I'll use this lemon. Is that what it is? Squeezed lemonade. Just want a little bit. It's a very runny paint. Okay, that's good. Just going to help cover the writing over a little bit more. And I need to work out how big to cut my hole in this page. Now, you may be wondering, why did I go to all the trouble of covering that page when I'm going to cut the middle of it out? Well, it's going to be a bit hard to do a background on it when there's a hole there, so that's why I didn't do that. And I've just noticed this sticking out here, and it's given me an idea. And I'm going to put a tab on this page. What about one of these things I made some time ago? I do have a video on how to do it. Okay, alright, I'm going to use one of them, so I'm going to dry this off. I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm going to attach a tab there. I'm going to cut it into a tab shape, and then I'll come back and I'll do the opening for the window. Tab is cut. This page is dry. I've marked out where I'm going to cut my window. What I've done is I've just wrapped my little cutting board in greaseproof paper, because I reckon that page is still a little bit tacky on the other side there, so I don't want the pages sticking together. Although it wouldn't matter if they did, it's just too bad, isn't it? It's extra texture on the page. So make sure you're careful when you use a craft knife. Okay. So cut off the top. There's a little bit stuck on here. Should have got it. I'm not holding this the right way. You're supposed to put it like that and hold it. Yeah, you can see that must be still a bit wet, the way that's pulled up then. A little bit wet on the other side. Never mind. Okay, we have a rustic window that gets put aside to be used later as a tag. Oh, I've turned the fan on, it's hot in here. Now, how's this looking? This is the odd little sticky bits. That's no good anymore. Okay, so I want to glue down my tab on there. It's got just stamping on the other side, so nothing fancy. And I've left a fair bit of the extra material there. So I don't want this to, you know, I just want to make sure it stays in there. I just had a thought. Oh no, just covers it. Okay, so that was Tombow Mono Aqua glue that I used for them. This is kind of a little bit unstuck on the other side here, and I think it's because of all the moisture that was on this other side that's probably made the glue loosen. But I will colour that a bit later on with something. This glue just takes a little while to set up. It's because it's very wet. But once it's on, there's no way in the world anything's going anywhere. So this is my image. And that's going to be in there. In between. Yeah, that looks nice. Can still see the words, make sure there's nothing bad there, but it doesn't look like it. There. Look at all this needs to be glued down again. I'll fix it up later. Okay, so if I just run a bead of this glue around the edge of the hole and then close the page over, no, I need to glue the whole thing. That's not going to work. But I can leave that where it is. I'm just going to go around everywhere. I might use a couple of different glues. I might use a bit of tacky glue as well, just to make sure. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Oh, this glue's shocking. The hole is always blocked. Let's see if I can get it out with a brush. It's fabulous glue, it's just so hard to get out. Make sure that the corners and edges are really covered in glue. Hopefully that hasn't moved. I think we have a successful job there. Yeah, can you see that? I'm sure you can. That's all in there. I need to leave it to dry before I go trying to turn the page or anything and look at another one. I want a stabilo around that. I use the woody because it's just easier to get a nice thick line. I'm going to go around the page as well. Lots of texture there, so it's very rustic looking. Okay. I wonder if that's straight. It wouldn't surprise me if the hole's not straight. I mean, it's straight, but you know what I mean? It's not straight on the page. A bit too much liquid there. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Okay, so I'm just going to stabilo around the edge And I'm thinking I'm going to leave this page. I'm not going to do anything else to that because I think I'll put a pocket or something on that a bit later on. So I'll just treat this like a separate page, even though it has got the same background. And I was looking at these, the way the brusho went. And it almost looks like hydrangeas. So what I'll do with this one when I finish is I'll let it dry properly before I do anything else. Just sort of pulling that in to the center of the image, the page, just towards the center, not into it. So it's giving that really nice, what's it called? Man, going blank. You know, when it's got a misty edge around it. Vignette, that's the word. Put some on there. I'll put some on the other side of that. Just grunge that up a little bit. I just love the way these pages feel with, you know, when they're so thick and chunky and oozy. When they're properly dry, they're like cardboard. Now, I want a bit more around that. I'm going to use I want some brown, like vintage photo or something. I don't have any small, any of those vintage photos or in a small pad, which I would have liked to have just rubbed all over. I can see a little bit here where the glue has come apart. Would have been nice to get that under the sewing machine and sew around that window. That's just the liquid has made that happen. How's that looking? I'm just going to take away a little bit of that stabilo. I like that. I reckon an eyelet would go really nicely in there. I managed to get one in there properly, but it has made a bit of a hole there. So what I'm going to do is just tie a strip of cloth over it to hide the hole. Nobody's going to know it was there. Just me and you. Maybe I should glue it in place. Just put a little spot of glue there a bit later on to hold it up. Here it is. My window. So I've got the little girl sitting in that window reading a book, and you can see the book page is behind as well. Okay, so that's that one done. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and a comment. It'd be lovely, even if it's just a heart or something like that. And I'll see you for another episode when I'll probably do a pocket for this page. Now that I've done this window, I feel like I want to do more, but I want to do it a little bit like have the window in the middle of one of these pages so it actually opens like that. So I'd need a few pages to do it, so that would really use up the pages in the book. So I could have one, I'd need a double, and then yeah, I could do it there in that little area. I should just rope that off, mark it for future development. Okay, so I might do that next time, have another crack at a window, and see how it goes. I could always stitch around that, couldn't I? What's on the other side? No, I can't. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Stay creative, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo!